Well, good morning and welcome to Community Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Elena Westbrook. I am one of your worship associates. My pronouns are she and her. I am really glad that you are joining us here this morning, this unseasonably warm winter solstice, whether you're here in person or online. Unitarian Universalism, if you're not familiar with it, is a non-creedal faith centered in love. That means that we care more about working together for a more just and loving world than we do about what a person looks like, or where they were born, or which bathroom they use. So whoever you are, wherever you came from, wherever you are on your journey, we are glad that you joined us here today. This morning, our service will take you on a journey through 3 winter festivals centered on bringing light to the darkness: Christmas, Yule, or winter solstice, and Hanukkah. And I want to thank all the worship associates who are helping with this service: Steve Mason, Sarah Reiling, and Jen Mason, who created our beautiful slides. What do Unitarian Universalists believe in? Some believe in miracles, others do not. Some call themselves Christian, others feel more at home with humanist language, or Jewish, or pagan, or Buddhist. But the value that we all hold at the center is love. It is at the center of our practice and at our values and of our lives. So instead of asking members to subscribe to a narrow creed, instead we engage in a spiritual practice of living out a sacred covenant that keeps love at the center. Every UU congregation has its own covenant, and this is ours. Please join me now as we say this covenant together to remind ourselves how we wish to live. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. Our responsive reading this morning, if you picked up a hymnal and prefer to use that, is number 663. It's called One Small Face. Please, your reading are the big words in bold. Hopefully that's clear. With mounds of greenery, the brightest ornaments, we bring high summer to our rooms, as if to spite the somberness of winter come.
In time of want, when life is boarding up against the next uncertain spring, we celebrate and give away some of what we have had.
All creatures bend to rules. Even the stars are constrained.
There is less madness in the human need to go against the grain of cold and scarcity.
We make a holiday, the rituals as varied as the hopes of humanity.
The reasons as obscure as ancient solar festivals, as clear as the joy on one small face.
And now I invite Steve Mason to come and we will have our Christmas celebration.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In each of the 4 weeks approaching Christmas, we've lit a candle in the Advent wreath. As Unitarian Universalists, we reclaim and reinterpret old traditions that are part of our heritage, as well as exploring new ideas. So far, we've lit the candles for peace, hope, and joy. Today, we add a candle for love. I would like to invite Sarah Reiling to join me on the chancel to help light the candles. Please respond with the congregational responses that are shown on the screen in bold. Whether we are finding renewal among people who are special to us, or doing the work of justice, or repairing our relationships, our sacred sense of connection runs through it all.
Love is holy.
May our commitment to love bring us closer together across our divisions, and may love move us to healing ourselves and the world.
We light the candles for peace, hope, joy, and love.
In 2025, the Christmas story really resonates in our country, to the point that numerous Christian churches are putting up nativity displays with signs that say things like, "Are you looking for Joseph? But ICE took him." Mary and Joseph weren't undocumented immigrants, but they were travelers seeking shelter, seeking refuge in a city that had no room for them. And their son grew up to share a radical message of welcome for everyone. Too many of us forget just how radical his message was. Jesus never said, "Take care of your family first, then your fellow countrymen, and forget everyone else," no matter how many politicians would like us to believe that. He said the opposite. People don't like to hear this because it's hard, but Jesus' message was to welcome the immigrant, the poor, the despised, and even the enemy. This year, we need this radical, difficult message of love and hope more than ever. Peter Mayer, in his song Stables, talks about the people of ancient Bethlehem as being hated weary. And aren't we? Are you tired of hate? I know many of us are. Peter Mayer's music sings that, quote, "Countless stables stand in hearts as harsh as desert lands, rough shelters in the wind and sand, that love may come and stay there." It continues by saying, "We're seeking love that opens fists of hate, heaps up gold on beggars' plates, love that shows a kindly face to enemies and strangers, love that sees with mercy's eyes, holds its arm out open wide, threads its loom with separate lives, and weaves them all together." The song ends by saying, "So may the lamps of stables glow brightly, that their light may go for miles in the darkness, so love will find its way there." May the lamps of stables glow, so love will find its way to us. Imagine looking at Christmas lights as you drive around, and instead of seeing decoration one-upmanship, see the light that beckons love to find its way into all of our lives. This week and all year, may the lights we kindle here together with our candles and our songs and our prayers shine so brightly that love finds its way here.
Yule means Feast of the Wheel. It falls on winter solstice, the shortest day and longest night of the year, which happens today in the Northern Hemisphere. Solstice celebrations were not only practiced by the ancient Europeans, these traditions and customs honoring and welcoming the sun can be found throughout history, being celebrated by people on every continent. Modern pagans used this midwinter rite to say farewell to that which has passed and to welcome not only the coming of a new year, but the excitement and preparation for the rebirth of life. Do you know the tradition of the Yule log? It's more than a delicious cake or a video to play while opening presents. Here's a story about it called The Witch's Yule Log, written by Angelica. I can see my great-grandmother's house as clearly as if I were there today. It was made of wood, grayed by time and age. There were great stones which made the fireplace wall. In the winter, the back porch was filled with wood waiting for fire. The windows gave a warming, luminous glow from the candles placed in them for the holiday. And in my eyes as a child, that was what love and peace looked like. In December, it was fiercely cold, even in the house. Each morning we had to wait until the fires were rekindled and had time to warm each room. I didn't always look forward to getting out of my cozy, warm bed. I would sink deep down into the down mattresses, bundled tightly in my great-grandmother's homemade quilts, each quilt made from tiny pieces of the past, filled with stories of people and lives long past from this world. But I only needed to be called once. Quickly grabbing my clothes and running into the kitchen where it was warm, I would stand behind the stove where the pipe came out of the wall, and there I would dress, being cautious not to touch that part or any part of the red-hot stove. I remember how I looked over and on the kitchen table saw a small box wrapped in green and red cloth and tied with brown cord. I was so excited and wanted to know what might be in that box. My great-grandmother sat down at the table with her cup of coffee and told me that I could open it. I shook it. It felt light. Then, as if I was performing some great act of discovery, I opened the box to find a big chunk of shiny gray charcoal. I looked at my great-grandmother with curious eyes, wondering what secrets the small black stone might possibly hold. Smiling back at me, she said, "This is a key, the key to a doorway of those we love but no longer see." The evening at sunset, Yule Eve, my great-grandmother asked me to help her bring in the big log we had picked for the Yule fire. She stirred the coals in the fireplace, then put the small piece of charcoal from the green and red box into the coals. Soon the small piece of coal began to glimmer again with new life. Then we carefully placed the new Yule log into the fireplace. The shadows within the room danced from light of the fire as it grew within the hearth. I lay on the floor looking into the fire, my chin in my hands, as my great-grandmother began to explain about this key of Yule. As she told me about the stories of family that had passed and of those she loved, I could sense the room fill with their spirits. I began to see them as she did and to share in the memories of those all about me. The Yule log burned to open the doorway between the veils. It allows the years past to join with today, so that the spirits of our loved ones who have crossed over may join us during this holiday season. While the Yule log burns, you may visit with all you love who have passed on to other places. It's a time to share the stories of family and those who you loved. It's a time to share traditions and honor those who have given us our history. It's a time to look forward each year in love and joy.
And now we enter into Hanukkah. There we go. Helps that I have a collection. Before we begin the celebration of Hanukkah, I want to just acknowledge a lot of the difficulties and strife around the Jewish people and Jewish practice today, and the fresh grief that the Jewish people are experiencing after the attack at Bondi Beach. The religious practice of Judaism is not the same thing as the political state of Israel. Today, we are remembering the wisdom and the resilience of the Jewish people and their dedication to practicing their faith over millennia, even in the face of overwhelming government oppression. These are lessons we can learn from, regardless of any concerns you may have about current events. Hanukkah is an 8-day Jewish festival marking the miraculous victory of the Maccabees, Jewish freedom fighters, over the Seleucidian Greek occupiers in the year 139 BCE. After recapturing the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, which had been converted into a place of idol worship, they searched for pure oil with which to light the temple menorah. There are, of course, many, many laws in Judaism and Jewish practice involving things like how the oil must be blessed. And it takes time for those blessings. It takes time to do all those rituals to purify the oil. They found only enough to burn for 1 day, but miraculously it burned for 8 days until more oil could be prepared. On each of the 8 nights of Hanukkah, Jewish people light special menorahs, adding another flame each night until on the 8th night, 8 flames are burning brightly. This lighting takes place at home, and preferably in a place where it can be seen, in a doorway or near a window, and it's performed after brief blessings are recited. A word about our menorah. I am not Jewish, although I have had the great blessing of getting to attend a Hanukkah celebration at a good friend's house who is Orthodox, and she has the little cups with the oil and the wick, which are very traditional and quite lovely. We are not, in actual Jewish tradition, the lights for Hanukkah are lit at sundown. So we're not actually practicing right now. I'm just demonstrating what Hanukkah celebration looks like. We want to appreciate Hanukkah practice and not appropriate it. The candles are set from your point of view. Hebrew is written from right to left, so the candles are filled from right to left. But you light from the newest candle placed. This is the Shamash or helper candle. And I will say the blessings first, and then I'll light the candles. And I want to thank all of this comes from a Jewish UUA minister who, and that sounds funny, doesn't it? She was raised Jewish, is currently a UU minister, and helps with our worship resources at the UUA. And so the instructions come from her. And I am sorry to say I didn't write down her name. But anyway, thank you. We appreciate your help. So this year, Hanukkah started, as you may have heard in the news, last Sunday on December 14th. It ends tomorrow. Officially tonight at sunset will be the 7th night of Hanukkah. We're going to celebrate the 6th night for 2 reasons. One, we haven't reached sundown yet, so it's not the 7th night yet. And also because the 6th night is really special. This is sometimes known as the Ner Shel Tzedakah, the candle of righteousness. So Hanukkah has become a time of giving gifts to children. The tradition of gift giving and receiving has magnified over the years, and let's be honest, probably just because it usually lands close to Christmas and the kids want to receive presents like their friends. So Jews in the time of the Maccabees wrestled with the extent to which they should allow Greek culture to influence their lives. Well, North American Jews do that too. I mean, how many of us have heard of the Hanukkah bush? Somebody puts up a tree and covers it with blue and white decorations and calls it a Hanukkah bush. And the gifts are part of that. So Hanukkah can be a time for us all to examine how we go about giving and receiving gifts. So, okay. Ner Shel Tzedakah, which means candle of righteousness, is a project in which families and individuals devote the sixth night of Hanukkah to learning about the problems of poverty. They donate the value of the gifts or the gifts themselves that would otherwise be exchanged on that night to organizations that assist the poor, either locally or globally. So by making donations on that sixth night of Hanukkah, families help the Jewish candle of righteousness glow brightly for those in need. So as we light the candles in a moment, I just want to repeat that we're doing it at the wrong time. We're not really doing it in completely the right way. The point is to share the blessings and the lessons of Hanukkah with you. But we are going to say the blessings together. I'm not going to ask you to say the Hebrew. I have it in front of me. Yes? Yes, please. Marcia, come on up. We have a guest. Yes, if you can. I have. So, okay, so there we have the two. Just the two for the sixth night. I have them written out here. I did not know. Yay.
All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min. No, wait a minute. That's the wrong blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, kiddushanu b'mitzvotanu v'vitzivanu lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Ner is candle, which is what you're talking about. Blessed are you, source of all, who bring the moments of holiness to our lives through the ritual of lighting the Hanukkah lights. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim lavotenu, b'yamim hahem hazman hazeh. Blessed are you, source of all, who bring our attention to miracles from ages past to this very moment.
Thank you. While you're here, would you like to be our candle lighter?
Sure.
So,
And I have to say, tonight is the 8th night. Last Sunday was the first night. So is my
okay,
math?
I miscounted.
Is my
Well,
math?
we're doing the sixth night because of this special blessing anyway.
That's fine.
So if you want to use there, and you can take light from any of these others.
If I could carry a tune, I would have sung it.
So let us say these words that are on the screen together. As we light this Ner Shel Tzedakah, we pray that its light will shine into the dark corners of our world. Please bring relief to those suffering from the indignity and pain that accompany poverty. May our act of giving inspire others to join with us in the fight against the scourge of hunger, homelessness, need, and want. Together, let us raise our voices to cry out for justice, and may that clarion call burst through the night silence and declare that change may come. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for that lovely gift. And here we are on the winter solstice, surrounded by flames of prayer in our window, flames of celebration here on our altar table. And I am so grateful to all of you for being here today and making this celebration so meaningful and full of love. For many thousands of years, and maybe stretching back to mankind's first dawning understanding of the patterns of the sun across the seasons, there have been fire festivals in the winter. Call it sympathetic magic. Call it prayer. Or call it hope. Because hope isn't a feeling, It's an action that we take in the dark. Like mycelium threading its way through soil, hope spreads underground from one person to another, carrying vital nutrients, sharing life from those who are currently in the sun to those who are in the deep shade and need a spark to carry them to the spring. Rebecca Solnit says, hope is an embrace of the unknown and the unknowable, an alternative to the certainty of both optimists and pessimists. Optimists think it'll all be fine without our involvement. Pessimists take the opposite view. Both excuse themselves from acting. It's the belief that what we do matters, even though how and when it may matter, who and what it may impact are not things we can know beforehand. We may not, in fact, know them afterward either, but they matter all the same. And history is full of people whose influence was most powerful after they were gone. Hope and possibility both grow in the dark, in the persistence of life creeping underground until the mycelium threads burst through the soil into the fruiting body we call a mushroom. The candles we light in the dark make a difference. Cultures around the world have long understood this. It's why we find evidence of winter festivals involving light, fire, and candles from Mesopotamia to the American Southwest, from the Middle East to the Celtic areas of Northern Europe. They lit fire to chase away the darkness, to invite back the sun, to participate in the endless spiral that is life on a seasonal planet. They sang songs to encourage each other to keep moving forward when light and joy seemed far away. And so we lit fires this morning, hoping to kindle hope in our own hearts. Life is change, and the movement of the sun reminds us that light always returns. It may not be the same light, and it may not fall on the same people. Just as you can never step in the same river twice, you are not the same person that you were at Yuletide last year. The light on winter solstice this morning illuminated a different world than it did last year or than it will next year. And that's the hope. You are here today. You can still lift your face up and feel the warmth of the sun. So may the light of these candles kindle a spark within you. May you find peace, hope, joy, and love today and every day. And may you carry those with you out into a world that desperately needs your unique light. We're keeping these lights lit, but there is one we're going to extinguish as a sign that it is the end of our worship time together. Please join me in saying together the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Starting today, the days begin to lengthen ever so slightly, undetectable day to day, but as the weeks pass, you will see unmistakable evidence of the growing light. May our lives be like that too. Hope and love and light that grow just a little bit, day by day, until each one of us shines brightly into a troubled world. Go in peace, go in hope, go in love. Blessed be. Amen.